I'm Kelton and this is Obsessed Reviews, and the 2024 Hyundai Sonata has just been revealed a few months ago, and now it is hitting dealership lots finally, even though we cannot configure it on the Hyundai website, but nonetheless I'm still really excited for it. So the refresh is very heavy. From exterior to interior, Hyundai has taken all the bad things that people complain about and they have improved upon it and made it less of a controversial car. And I'm really excited to see how these will look in person. Now, Hyundai has to compete with the Nissan Altima and the Honda Accord, and that's another reason why they have to step up their game, because in the last few months, Honda, Nissan, and Toyota are rolling out their new models of their mid-size sedans, and this is a very competitive range. So I think that Hyundai has really did a good job. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, starting with the exterior, Hyundai has refreshed for a very still angular design, but a less controversial design, like I said, for this new year. So starting with the front end, they have the new light bar, which is part of their brand now, that stretches across the entire front of the vehicle. And I think it's a really cool design feature, and I think it really makes the vehicle still remain unique. But they have taken away the catfish grille that a lot of people hated on last year because of its catfish looks. And me personally, I thought it looked very nice, and I thought it was very unique even to the Hyundai lineup. But they have made it a lot more of a conventional but still very aggressive and good looking design, so that's good for them. The front end of the vehicle definitely looks a lot more cohesive with the rest of the design now, and it really goes with the body lines of the vehicle. I wish I could say the same thing about the back of the vehicle though. In my humble opinion, the back of the vehicle kind of throws me off because the taillights were, in my opinion, something that did not need to be refreshed. They were very nice looking taillights, iconic taillights even, and they have changed it to be kind of like the Ioniq 6's taillights, or the Ioniq 5 taillights, which are good but don't fit the Sonata's design to me. It incorporates those block designs and that blacked out section, which is just not giving. So I feel like it's not really fitting in with the rest of the design as much as the rest of the vehicle is now. Also, the rear bumpers have been slightly refreshed, and I think they look good, but nothing special, nothing really that new for the rear bumpers. And moving on to the wheels of the Sonata, I think that they look amazing. Hyundai always does an amazing job when it comes to wheel designs, and this is no different. And I feel like they've taken the Hyundai Sonata's previous wheels and just made them even better. And they look more well thought out and cohesive with the rest of the design, like I said now. So it's definitely good. Okay, and moving on to the interior, I think this is such a good improvement for the Sonata. The last generation, or the pre-refresh Sonata, looked really good. The tech was good, the materials were good, but in my opinion, there was too much black going on. There were only so many trims you could get different colors on for the interior, and other than that, you just had a lot of black hard plastics and soft plastics going on, which, I mean, they definitely didn't feel very cheap, but it just gives a cheap vibe to me. So now Hyundai has taken the courtesy to put trim into the Sonata, and I really love that. We have wood trim, faux aluminum, and some faux carbon fiber, I'm pretty sure. So I really think it adds more personality to the interior and more depth to the interior. The Sonata has also now moved on from 10.3-inch screens, dual 10.3-inch screens, to now 12-inch screens, which are put together in a curved style display in the front seat, and I think that's a really good design. Hyundai is putting that in all of their new vehicles now, so it's nothing new, but it's definitely heightening the luxury in the interior for the Sonata. So that's really good to see for the Hyundai brand. And as many people may know, before these new screens came out with the new UI, Hyundai and Kia would not allow wireless Apple CarPlay to be on the bigger screens. It was only available and standard on the smaller screen sizes. So I'm pretty happy that now it's standard on all of the screen sizes and all of the trim levels for these new vehicles that have the new UI. So I'm sure a lot of Hyundai Kia fanboys will be happy about that. I also think this was bound to happen because Hyundai and Kia really did make a big impact, in my opinion, when it comes to technology and mid-size sedans, because back in 2020 and in 2021, they were the first ones to really put 10-inch screens and 12-inch screens in their vehicles and heighten the tech standards at that point. So now all the other brands are like Nissan and Honda and Toyota are hurrying to put 10-inch and 12-inch screens in their vehicles, and I don't think it would have happened as fast without Kia and Hyundai. So obviously they had to continue to lead the tech segment and put all their newest tech into these midsize sedans. The vent design has also changed for the interior in the Hyundai Sonata, and it now has a full span vent that goes across the dash, which is obviously echoing the front light panel, the front headlights and the rear taillights. So this is a very cool design element, and it's a design element that I continue to see added to vehicles more and more. And it's also one that you could probably recognize from the Hyundai Santa Fe. So I'm really excited to see this in the Hyundai Sonata and in more vehicles, but I'm wondering if it's going to start feeling overused. So moving on to the engine configurations, excuse me. Let me pull my laptop out. The new engine configurations, they have removed the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo. So that is gone. It was the lowest horsepower figure in all of the engines, I think, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think it will be missed, but now they only offer the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder for the SEL and the base model. And the Limited will actually be a hybrid exclusively, so you can only get a hybrid on the Limited, and I'm pretty sure that you can only get the Limited in a hybrid. Also, the inline is still obviously going to be offered because Hyundai needs that performance. But the engine, the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, will make 191 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque, which is not exciting but adequate for the class. And the inline will still be making the same numbers it makes right now, 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. Also, the SEL, the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, will only be offering all-wheel drive on that engine configuration. So if you want all-wheel drive, you have to get that. Also, the Limited, the hybrid, will have a 4-cylinder making 191 horsepower. This will actually be an inline 4. I'm really glad that Hyundai continues to embrace their performance their performance trim levels, because some brands like Honda have given up on it and Nissan has given up on it a long time ago, even though they claim their turbo CVT is really fast, but it's not. So I'm really glad that we still have some performance sedans in this range of vehicles. Moving on to the summary, I think Hyundai did an amazing job with this refresh. They definitely did something that will make it even more appealing to buyers, and it will probably make it sell even better than the pre-refresh model did, because a lot of people were turned off by that design, and everybody can agree that this model looks amazing. The interior is very well improved, and it's really showing value with the equipment. It reminds me of what they just recently did with the Kia K5, which I did do a video on, and Hyundai has really taken the time to keep the vehicle competitive, but also make meaningful changes, and to learn from what their vehicle has had complaints about for the last few years. So I'm really glad that Hyundai is not a brand that doesn't listen to their customers, because they've definitely listened and improved upon everything that people didn't like before in the Hyundai Sonata. It will sell pretty well, in my opinion. I think it will sell well. And I think that amongst the Honda Accord, Nissan Altima, and Toyota Camry, it still is a very, very, very worthy competitor, and will probably be for a very long time, because Hyundai is not giving up on the midsize sedan. So that's really amazing. Thank you for watching, and if you made it this far, please subscribe, and have a good day.